We've got to talk about men sometime, because I know we brought up your dad. Okay, I'm sure we have 5 minutes, so let's do this real quick. You brought up your dad last time about how your dad's just not really a big communicator. And I do want to give a
He's
shout out
unreasonable.
to dads, because as your dad's roughly my age. And one of the biggest things that estranged parents are getting dumped on for is that we can't talk, we can't express, we can't just, the communication isn't there. Well, we weren't allowed. Children should be seen and not heard. It was never, ever accepted, cultivated, anything. And for the boys, it was 1,000 times worse. If you showed any sign of emotion or weakness, you got the crap beat out of you. So our men, the older generations, are not going to be forthcoming. Your dads, they're not going to be forthcoming with probably what you need at all. And you're just going to have to, again, open your heart. You learn to be the one to be reasonable and try to see it from the other person's point of view, because we've
And
all been through a lot of stuff.
you're the one who made me realize that and like really accept my dad for who he is, because you pointed that out and I was like, oh my God, I'd never thought about that. Like I'm only focusing on like my needs. So being a part of this community has opened me up to not only just like accepting other things, but accepting the fact that like my dad, I've only seen him cry once, literally once. And that was after my stepdad beat me and he apologized for not being there. He had to pull over. Other than that, the most excited I've ever seen him in our family group chat was when I told him that there was a train convention. And he was like, what? And I was like, that is the most emotion I've ever seen from you, Dad. I was lost in Italy alone. And you were like, figure it out. Like, Dad, trains? But seeing the fact that, like, yeah, he, and like really understanding the fact that he is not in my generation. He's not going to be open and communicative. And like, he doesn't know what mental health is. He thinks that that just means he needs to go work in the yard. Like, so no, seeing that, like, yeah, he grew up in a different time. He grew up in a different era. He had different expectations on him than the boys who paint their nails right now. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. Karen said, Dad, I need you to listen to me right now. Are you available for that? That's excellent. This is how my 21-year-old daughter talks to my husband, her father. She is open to talking and wants him to hear her, but he won't pick up the clues until she says that. Yeah, that makes total sense. I mean, it's hit him with the brick over the head sometimes.